Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Darlene. I am Darlene D'Eon Designs here on Flosstube, on Instagram, on Facebook, and I have an Etsy shop. I design and sell cross-stitch and quilting patterns, and sometimes I have occasional finished items there too, quilted items. So thank you so much for dropping in to say hi. If you're new here, I appreciate you stopping by to see what's happening here. If you are returning, I appreciate you so much. I think I'm almost at 1,600 followers. If you are new or if you are returning and you haven't subscribed before, please hit the subscribe button. I would really love to grow the channel a little more. Anyway, I show mostly cross stitch, some quilting, but I leave that until the end if you're not interested. But like I said, mostly cross stitch. I have a lot of quilting whips, UFOs. Like I'm embarrassed to say how many. And I'm actually considering doing some separate quilting videos just because I thought if I get them out and talk about them, maybe it would encourage me to get them finished. It has been on my mind a lot lately. So yeah, maybe that'll help. Whew, I find it really hot today. So if you see me lifting the hair off of my neck, that's why. Oh my goodness, it's hot in this house. It's not that warm outside, but it's not terribly cold either. But the house is warm today. We have wood heat, and sometimes it's just too much for a woman my age. If you get the drift. Okay, so again, welcome. I have been stitching quite a lot, not for any particular reason, just because I've been home a lot, and I was away for a few days. We had a death in the family, and myself and my sister and my daughter traveled to the neighboring province for a family funeral, and because of that, I was able to get into my nearest stitch shop, which is in Moncton, New Brunswick, and it's about it's close to 6 hours from me. So we were able to stop there on our way home, and we had a great time. It's a great shop, really helpful staff, and they have a lot to choose from, a lot of patterns, a lot of fabric. So I've got some things to show you that I purchased. I went through the ends baskets of fabric. That's what I was looking for mostly, was fabric. It's so nice to actually have the fabric in your hand and to be able to touch it and see the color rather than ordering it online. If you're ordering something online and you already know the color, that's great. But I always wonder if I'm getting what I think I'm getting when I order something new. Anyway, it was really nice to be there. And apparently they recognized my name. Some of them watch my Flosstube. So hey, Stitch Bug people, thank you so much for a great visit. Okay, so let's get right at it. I have a new start. This is a birthday start. I had a birthday 2 days ago. I was 59 years old, and next year's a biggie. It's just a number. Anyway, I have been collecting the Blackbird Designs Anniversaries of the Hearts chart. Anniversaries of the Heart charts. So this is pattern 1, and the first time I seen it, I think was on Crosshatch Quilts Flosstube, and then I've also seen it a lot on Pumpkin Hollow Quilts with Olivia, and I was just so inspired to do this piece. Each piece is usually dedicated to a family member or someone in your life that you want to remember or honor in some way. So there are, if I've got this right, there are 12 charts. There are 12 monthly charts, but I mean, this one does have a winter vibe. Mine not so much because I'm changing the colors, but they're not all, you don't have to stitch them specifically for a month. So I have decided, they are usually done 5 across and 3 down. I have decided to only do 12 pieces. Now, when I say there's 12 charts, there are 2 bonus charts. One of them is a regular size, like this, and one of them is a double. So it makes 15, you can end up with 3 by 5 or 5 by 3 designs. I'm not saying that's very good. Anyway, I've decided to only do 12 spaces. So I'm doing the 2 bonus charts, which is really like 3 spaces, and then 9 of the other regular charts. So this is the first one. It is called Snow Garden. Pretty hard to miss that. Snow Garden. And I'm stitching it on 32 count vintage country mocha linen over 2/2. So here is my start. I started it on Wednesday. This is Friday morning. I think I've had a pretty good start. I went to, there are several hashtags on Instagram for Anniversaries of the Heart. So I went in there and I've been looking at different colorways, and when I pulled the colors that are called for, it looks nothing like what's on here, but that's okay with me because I don't like all the white on this. But like this side of the house right here, the DMC conversion on the chart is, make sure I got this right. No, I'm wrong. It's a combination of 2 DMCs to get the color that's on the chart. Anyway, I just didn't think a lot of it looked the way, a lot of the threads, a lot of the DMCs do not match up. So anyway, I'm choosing my own fabrics, my own colors as I go. And I am debating the door. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if it's too bright for the rest of the piece. I would love your opinion. And if I follow the chart as not the way the colors, not the actual colors, but the chart is this side of the house is the same color as the door. So I'm not sure if that would be too much, too bright or what. But anyway, we'll see. I'm going to try it and then I'll take it out if I don't like it. I'm really enjoying it. I thought I had bought 18 count fabric. I have enough. I had enough for 18, you know, it was big enough for 18, not 18. I can't talk today, 36 count. But when I started it, I counted, and it's actually 32 count. So I don't know if it came wrong or if I ordered wrong or what. But anyway, it's 32 count. I've got enough fabric to do what I want to do. So I just decided to go ahead with it. Anyway, I love it. I'm really happy with it. And it's going faster than I thought it would. So we'll see. Might not be as long-term as I had first thought. I think some of the other pieces are more intensive, so we'll see. Last time, I think I showed you that I had a start on Huckleberry Farm by the Blue Flower. I love this piece so much, and I had seen it. I'm pretty sure I saw where Lindy Stitches had stitched it on the hashtag, and she has used a dark, moody, dark teal with some grays fabric, and I really like that look. So I had this piece of fabric in my stash, and it was just gray, and I added some teal dye to it, and this is the color I came up with. And I wasn't sure my fabric was big enough, so I started in the center. It's hard for me to see here. I started in the center and worked my way out to the left just to make sure. And you see this is way off. I just haven't cut it yet, but because there's a piece cut out of the fabric there. that is the edge of the work there. So I am good and clear. I can keep going. Anyway, I'm really pleased with it. I love those little white blossoms, how they show up on that fabric. And look at that little chipmunk. Isn't he cute? Anyway, it's really pretty. I love it. I don't have the floss for the berries. There are red wine, purpley berries, and I don't have all the colors, so I'm just holding off until I get them to start that. So anyway, I'm really happy with it. I love it. Making a few, because I'm using a dark fabric, I had to make a few color changes. This was a gray, dark gray, and it didn't show up on this, so I went with a blue. And anyway, making a few color changes as I go. Also, the New Hampshire Stitcher, I think, is stitching it, and Mrs. Stitches, M-I-S-S-U-S Stitches, who is a Flosstuber that is very nearby me. She's probably about an hour away from me. She's doing it too. She started it pretty much just in the last 2 or 3 weeks. She started it too. So I have spent a lot of time over the last week working on this piece, and I haven't stitched it since summer. This is the only full coverage piece I'm doing. It's a Heaven and Earth design, a Hade, and it is a Christmas Carol, and the artwork is by Dean Morrissey. It has 280,000 stitches. Yep, there must be something wrong with me. But I have a real love for A Christmas Carol, the story. So when I seen this, I just knew I had to give it a whirl. So I started over in this corner, and I'm trying to do a page at a time. And I'm really pleased with how much you can get done in a short space of time. I don't think you realize how many stitches you're actually stitching unless you're using a program that tells you, how many stitches you're getting in. So I hope that you can see that this is a horse taking shape. I can see it, but I know it's there. My husband says he can see it. So these are all the buildings in the background along the street. This is a line of laundry. There's some lights on the buildings here, and then you can start to see more definition in the buildings here. But then this is a horse and buggy coming up the street. And I am here. So this is the horse. So I have 2 pages complete, and I don't know, I would say I'm probably maybe a third of the way into the next page. It is a lot of confetti stitching, a lot of color changing, and I don't know if I can't say I'm doing color complete, but I usually complete everything I have with one piece of floss if I don't have to travel too far. Now, I have watched a new to me Flosstuber recently. She is the In-Hand Stitcher. She has 4 videos out. You should go watch her. She's a young mom, and I really liked what she's working on. I like her her system, not her what do you call it? Her rotation, the way she does her rotation. So go check her out. She is the In-Hand Stitcher. Anyway, I watched her latest video yesterday, and she has a full coverage piece on the go, at least one. And she talked about parking her threads, and I really liked what she said, the way she's doing it. When I think about parking threads, when I get to the end of something, let's say you're coming along to the end of the horse here, and you're stitching with 310, and there's no 310 stitches nearby. She puts her thread to the back, and she finds the next thread, or the next stitch that's 310. It could be over here or wherever. She brings her thread up in the the hole that she typically starts in. She brings her thread up in that hole and lets it hang to the front. It doesn't get in her way. And the reason I've never done parking is because I always thought it would be an issue to figure out what, well, I mean, this piece has like, there must be at least 20 different blues in it. So it was, I always thought, well, how would I know for sure if the thread is just dangling there? How will I know what color which color blue that actually is? So because she parks it in the next stitch, or the next closest stitch for that symbol, that's how she knows the color of the thread. So I'm going to try that. This is not something I get out often. I seem to get an urge to do some full coverage and I get it out, and I've stitched on it, I think 6 partial days, and I have put in 3,676 stitches or something like that over the past part of a week. So like I said, you don't realize how many stitches you're doing unless you're using a program that counts them up for you. Anyway, I was really surprised, and I'm enjoying it very much. And I did put it away 2 days ago because I wanted to get a start on that Anniversaries of the Heart. Sorry. Okay, another one I pulled out this week that I have not had out in a while is my Words to Live By Heartstring Samplery. This is 1 Corinthians 13, I think. Anyway, I was able to get another line of words done. So sorry, got threads hanging here. Anyway, so that bottom line keeps no record of wrongs that I added in the last couple of weeks. I'm stitching this on 25 count. I think it's Farmhouse Lugana by Lori Holt. And I'm stitching it 1/1 with number 3371 DMC. Really, really happy with that. I had started it over 2 and it was too big, and I wanted it to be smaller, and so yeah, really happy with it. Again, I get an urge to stitch on it every once in a while. And let me see, my next piece is one that I showed you last time, and this is a Modern Folk Embroidery pattern, Real Comfort, a Jane Austen sampler. So if you remember last time, you know that I think I mentioned this last time, I had a couple of false starts. And in the end, I decided I had been watching 2 people stitch it. One was Somi Sarah. She's doing it on 25 count, 1/1. And Creative Lee, I'm pretty sure she stitched it on 25 count too, 1/1. Anyway, I think they both stitched it 1/1. I'm not sure which count, but anyway, I did get a pretty good go at it. So you can see, that's better. Yeah, so I started up here. You can see there's a line across the fabric here. I had started something else on this fabric and took it out, and it left a mark. So I made sure I started on that line just so that I would be covering that. So then I came down, and then I started back up here and came all the way around and going across here with the houses now. So anyway, I'm happy with it. I love it. I'm using DMC 816, a very nice red that I like a lot. And it's 1/1, which a lot of people don't like 1/1 stitching. I don't mind it at all. I know that there's I don't know if I can explain it. Sometimes your stitches will slip into the next stitch, kind of thing. I don't know any other way to explain it. It's because of the weave, something to do with the weave of the fabric. And I have seen a post recently, and I don't know where it was, on Instagram, I think, that shows a drawing of like a diagram of charts and how your fabric, how your thread is how you, where you should be coming up, when that happens, where you should be going down. When that happens, I just take that stitch back and put it in the opposite hole, or vice versa, and that works. It stops it right away. So like I said, I don't let it bother me. I just keep on stitching. Okay, I'm gonna lose some stuff here. And the last few times I've been showing you this I've been kind of using like a filler between other projects. This is, sorry, I'm taking off loose threads. This is Daybreak by Carolyn Designs with my own color conversion. And since I saw you last, I added this one. I had this one started, I think, with the wrong colors. So I was gonna leave it, and then I said, no, I guess I'll change that. So I changed something, and then I also got this one done, and another one started. So pretty happy with it. I love it. It looks darker in the video than what it actually is. It's quite a bit more pastel-y looking. Maybe not pastel-y is the word. It's just prettier in person. The colors are more defined in person, I guess. Anyway, pretty happy with that. I'm stitching that on 28 count Monaco 2/2 with all DMCs. Okay, that's all of my stitching. Well, that's all of my actual stitching. I have some haul. I did want, and I had mentioned, I'm just looking at my notes here. Okay, first thing I'll show you is I wanted to draw attention to a few of my springy type patterns. This is one of the very first ones that I released. It's called Spring. It's actually called You've Got a Friend in Me. You Got a Friend in Me. EWE. Yeah, little sheep, little robin, and some tulips, other flowers. I have not seen a robin yet this year. I am seeing a few more finches at my feeder, which is good because I have had very few finches all winter, which usually they're around lots in the winter, but just chickadees this year. And every field you drive by, there are tons of Canada geese here. More and more and more all the time. So that's definitely a good sign of spring. Some stay all winter, but the majority come back. So anyway, this is You Got a Friend in Me. Nice springy design. Available as a PDF in my Etsy shop. Keep Life Simple isn't necessarily spring, but it's spring colors, and I just love it. Again, this is available in my Etsy shop. They all are as PDFs. Keep Life Simple. And this is part of a 4-piece series, Spring, Shore Signs of Spring. Bunny, a robin again, tulips, definite signs of spring. Okay, just wanted to draw attention to those if you're interested. Flosstubers, I had mentioned that I watched the In-Hand Stitcher. She's very good. I like her very much. Another new one that I watched, new to me, is Stem X Stitch. Stem X Stitch. She's just a young girl in university. She stitches, a lot of the things she stitches are not things that I would care to stitch, but I really like her. I like, I like her personality. I like seeing what she's stitching, and yeah, I really enjoyed her. And new to me that I have never watched before, but I've heard several of you speak of, is Elliewelliestitcher. So I've watched a couple of hers, really enjoyed her. And I've been watching all the regulars. The ones that I watch on a regular basis: Mama Loves You GB, Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow, Alba Stitcher, oh, there's so many. And of course, when it comes right down to it, I can't remember. Flossabilities. Michelle McGraw. Those are some of my favorites. I watch them faithfully. So anyway, I had some giveaways last time. These were my new charts last time. My little set of 3 pillows, which I can never hold in my hand at the same time. Okay, so these are Be the Good, Create Joy, and Choose Happy. Can't read backwards. So that's a 3-piece set. They're available in my Etsy shop, but I am giving one away today. And I used the random comment picker. And thank you all. Thank you to so many of you who participated. The set for the pillows goes to Glee Hansen. So I'm pretty sure Glee is here in Nova Scotia. So Glee, if you could give me an email, my address will be in the drop-down box below. Just give me an email address, or shoot me an email with your email address, and I will send that PDF off to you. And my other new chart last time was snow, so much snow. This little snow couple. I don't know if you can see snowflakes, snowballs, snowman, snowfall. And the PDF for that goes to P. Vacha, or Vacha, P-V-A-C-H-A. So if you could give me shoot me an email, again, I will get that out to you as a PDF. And then I had these mini blocks, Ladybug and Wash Day, that I wanted to send out. Thank you so much to the lady that sent them to me to be used for giveaways. I appreciate it so very much. You know who you are. So they are, the winner for those is Arlene Curry. So Arlene, if you could shoot me an email with your mailing address, I will get them out to you. And a couple of new giveaways for this week. Again, from someone that sent them to me to be used as giveaways. Stitch or Die Pincushion by Heartstring Sampleries. Excuse me. If you are interested in winning that one, you can use the word use the word die, D-I-E. Gotta write that down. And my other one is a Summer House Stitchworks design. It is Fragments in Time. Lovely piece. So if you're interested in that one, use the word time. So die and time. Use those words in the comments. Doesn't have to be in a fancy sentence, but it is cute when it is. Anyway, if you're interested in those, use the words die or time, and we'll draw for them next time. Okay. And that is it for my, oh, I have a little bit of haul because, you know, I got to that stitchy shop. So I wanted to share that with you. I picked up a few fancy flosses. So these two are, well, this one, let me see. This one is the Gentle Arts, and it's called Oatmeal. I'm using this in Blackbird Designs Feast of Friendship. I think that's what it's called. So I knew I would probably need another skein of that. This is a Weeks Dye Works. Oh my, it's hard to see the color. It's a really dark blue. It's called Fathom. It's got some black and blue in it. It was so nice to get to a shop that actually had the fancy floss there on the wall. Like I've never been anywhere to see it in person before. So that was very nice. This one is Classic Colorworks Cupid. Beautiful red. How could I pass that up? think I'll use that for some upcoming Canada Day pieces. This one is Cherry Tomato. Loved this. So pretty. And one more Bramble Bush. I'm really drawn to golds and caramel colors. So pretty. Anyway, so those were my fancy flosses. They are, I wish I could afford to buy all fancy flosses. Actually, I very rarely use them. They hang on a little hook right there beside my stitchy chair. Never think to look, never think to pull them out, and I need to make a habit of trying to use them more. But they're so expensive here. They're like, I mean, they were $5, $4 and $5. All of the fancy flosses there were $4 and $5 a skein. So yeah, it makes quite a difference when you're used to paying 85 cents for DMC. And I love DMC. It's excellent floss. There's nothing wrong with it. Excuse me. So I will keep on with my DMC mostly. I picked up this little book. I was a little overwhelmed by the patterns. There were just so many, and I wanted them all. But I decided to pick up this one. This is Brenda Gervais' The Snowball, which I have seen so many of you do. And there's 5 pictured on the outside. Then there's one on this back cover. This little house pillow. And I think there's one more in there that's not. Oh yeah, on the inside cover too. Anyway, they're darn cute, and that will be fun. Okay, I picked up some perforated paper because I would like to be able to do some more ornaments with that. And then everything else was fabric. And now I should separate some of this. I did pick up some fabric recently from the Facebook Canadian staff, selling. So this one is called Sudden Storm. It's a nice mottled gray. And it is 20 count Lugana, which I don't think I've seen before. I will probably stitch 1/1 with that. Then I got a piece of blue. It's a big piece of Wedgwood. Lugana, 28 count Wedgwood. It's not showing the true color. That's better. Yeah. Big piece of that. And this one is, picture this plus 14 count Relic Ada. Another really nice piece of a mottled gold beige. Love it. So pretty. And then the rest I'm pretty sure I got at the Stitch Bug. So like I said, I went through the ends. This one is a piece I got her to cut for me. This is Mushroom. And it is 28 count Lugana. I love Mushroom, the color. Years ago when I was on the tail end of stitching, of my stitching time, there was a shop in Yarmouth which is about an hour away from me, that had a nice supply of fabric and crosser supplies. She had a lot of nice samples on the wall. It was downtown in Yarmouth on the main street. And she always had Mushroom Lugana in stock. So that was where I first bought Lugana. And I stitched our Christmas stockings on that. And I was hooked for Lugana from there on in. Anyway, Mushroom, again, has still been a favorite. And I got her to cut me a piece of lucan, 32 count lucan in the color Raw. And it's kind of hard to see with there. That's better. Anyway, very pretty. Okay, and then the rest were from the bin, from the ends bin. This is a piece of Coffee Joblin. And it is 28 count. a piece of 27 count Linda in Ivory. Nice big piece. And Lugana, 32 count Lugana Ivory. It's a smaller piece. And one more. Oh, this one came from the Facebook group too. This is a 26 count Lugana, which I had never heard of before. Creme. Anyway. So, that was lots of fun. That was my haul, my little shopping trip. Really enjoyed it. We had a great time. So that's it for my stitching and stitching related things. I do want to show you, if you are not sticking around to see the little bit of quilting I have, thank you so much for being here. And I hope you come back. Like I said before, please hit the subscribe button. I should be back in 2 to 3 weeks, hopefully. So I do want to do a some kind of a quilt video. So if you're interested in that, that's coming up. Okay, so I have shown you over the last 2 or 3 videos that I'm participating in the Focus Cutting Sew Along. I think it is. That's the hashtag on Instagram. But I will put that below in the notes. It's in my previous notes too. It's hosted by Naomi. I never get this right. That's in my notes too. Anyway, she is a UK-based EPP, English paper piecer, and she has a challenge every year. She issues a challenge for a specific shape, and then each month she asks you to make your piece based on the prompts that she's giving us. So the shape she asked for this year is the honeycomb. I'm using a 1-inch honeycomb. Yep. And the previous ones I've done, the first month, the theme was red. So the fabrics had to have a bit of red. They don't have to be all over red. These are the pieces I've done for January. And then for February, the pieces were things I love, or the prompts were things I love. No, all about me. They were all about me. So one was where I live, Canada. One was my favorite fabric, which for EPP would be paisley. Things I love. This has quilts, cross stitch, family, all that kind of stuff on it. And then I mentioned to you in my last video that the one for that particular week was the newest fabric acquisition. So my newest fabric was a piece of, I should have had that here show you. Oh, no, that's not it. Oh, crash. Shoot. Anyway, it's a piece of navy or blue and cream twill. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to pull off anything for that. But this is what I ended up with. So this is water. This is well, it's actually like this, but this is the top of a tree. Some clouds, and then the next, what's above it is the next design. It's nothing to do with the tree. But this is the top of a tree. And so I was able to cut that so that I could focus cut them together. And I really like the way it turned out. Really pretty. And then for March, the theme was, the first week in March, it was International Women's Day. So she wanted you to use, I guess the colors that they use for that are purple and green. You could use that. You could use a fabric that had women on it or anything to do with women. Or you could use fabric that was designed by a woman that you really like. And that's what I ended up doing. There's endless possibilities for that. So I have a nice little stash of Kim Deal fabric. And I love the way the stripes look in a in an EPP. So I used a Kim Deal stripe that I've had in my stash for a while. Pretty pleased with that one. And then for the rest of March, the theme is orange. And 2 weeks ago, the prompt was identifiable motifs. So I used this beautiful paisley again. You just can't beat paisley. And again, when I cut this, I didn't know if I would use this as the center or this as the center. And I tried it both ways, and I really like the way this big piece ended up. Love it. And then this week's was obscure sections, which means what comes together in the center of your work shouldn't be recognizable. You know, if it's a flower, you shouldn't really be able to tell that it's a flower from the piece that you've cut off or the piece that you're using. You know, if it's a maple leaf, you shouldn't be able to see that it's a maple leaf. Which is very much what this is. This was a tree, but you don't really realize it's a tree. Anyway, this is what I came up with. And this is a piece of Debbie Mum fabric from my stash. And this is what it looked like. And so I cut the bottom of the pot out and ended up with this. This is definitely not my favorite one. I don't love the blue blob. Anyway, we'll see. I may use it or I may not. And I had this last time and forgot to show you. I mentioned before that when I put them together, of course, you're going to have this square in the center that needs to be filled. So I was looking for a piece of black fabric that had something that I could fussy cut and put in there. And I picked up this piece of Kim Deal. I'm pretty sure it's Kim Deal fabric. It's Henry Lass. Yes, it is Kim Deal. And this is the fabric. So I'm able to fussy cut those little gold leaf motifs. And they will, so that's on a 1-inch square. And I don't have enough hands here to show you, but anyway, that's how it's going to come together there. And then around the outside I will just use the triangles. So I really should start putting them together so that at the end of this project, at the end of the year, I won't be left with a pile of X's that I don't do anything with. Where if I start putting those black joiners in now, I will have, I'm hoping to end up with a runner. That's what I'm hoping this is going to become for me. So that's just about it. I did join the Clare Guild here in my area, which is about 35 or 40 minutes away from me. It's a very active, big guild, Quilters Guild. And I joined that earlier, and I've only been there twice. I did get there this week. I picked up this little needle keep. So it's just a little folded, it's got a little flower, yo-yo flower that you open up. And this is a piece of felt or wool that you put your needles or pins on. So cute, just goes back together. Actually, I'm also a member of the guild in my local town, my closer town. And one of our members taught that last year, and I missed the class. I wasn't able to get there. So rather than make my own, I figured I'd buy one the lazy way. Anyway, that's about it for me today. The weather here is, looking out my window, I can still see snow. There are more bare spots than snowy spots, which is a good thing. I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for sandals. We had rain yesterday, but like I said, there are still lots of places in my yard. Now, when you drive to the shore, which is 10 minutes away, there's almost no snow there. Only snow that you see there is where it was plowed up or in a shady spot. But our yard always typically has snow left in it until sometime in April. So, you know, if we had a couple really warm days in the next week or so, I would say we would probably be close to no snow. But we are surrounded by a lot of trees here in my yard, so we have a lot of shade. Anyway, it is time for spring. I am ready for spring. I have seen a few friends post crocuses and things like that coming up in their gardens, so it'll be good to see that. Can't think of anything else. I'd say that's it. Going out with the family tonight to celebrate my birthday. That'll be fun. So I hope you all have a good week, couple of weeks, and that you have lots of great stitchy time and stay healthy. Bye-bye. See you later.